Friends, look at this. Today, we processed Santol. The method is not difficult. We will chop it and soak it in salt water like this. We will prepare the Santol flesh first. We will come back to see the next step. Now, we will chop the Santol and soak it in salt water like this. We will come back to see the next step. In the next step, we will use 1 liter of water. Pour it into a pot to boil. Turn on the stove. Aunt Moo, rinse the Santol that has been soaked in salt water. Then, mash it. Mash it into strands like this. We will pour it in the next step. This one, Aunt Moo used 3 large ones, about 1 kilo, 2 and 3. This one is very large. We peeled it and soaked it in salt water and put it in the freezer. It also reduces the sourness. Soak it in salt water for about 10 minutes and then put it in the freezer. It's a way to preserve food. If we don't store it in the freezer, it will rot quickly. When it rots, it can't be used. When we put it in the freezer, it turns a darker color, but it doesn't rot. This is how we can use it. When we pour the Santol in, the water starts to boil again. We'll pour in the brown sugar. Brown sugar is water. Unrefined palm sugar, friends. Not otong. Brown sugar is this kind of granulated sugar. This kind of granulated sugar, we use 1 kilogram. We pour in the granulated sugar, friends. Stir, friends. Otherwise, the granulated sugar will stick to the pot and it will smell. No, the Santol that Auntie Moo chose to use, the fruit is quite large. It's a cotton wool Santol. When we bought it, friends, we didn't finish it, so we peeled it and soaked it in salt water. We put it in the freezer. It can be kept for a long time. We didn't boil it for a long time. We boiled it just until the granulated sugar dissolved. Friends, stir first. Stir until the granulated sugar dissolved completely. Auntie Moo boiled it until dissolved sugar, friends. Look at the water we boiled. It will be clear like this. Boil until the water we boiled is clear like this. All the sugar is gone. Turn off the stove. Once we turn off the stove, we will let the water we boiled the Santol at room temperature first. Auntie Moo will update in the next step. Let's let the water we boiled the Santol at room temperature. We will mix in the next step. In this step, Auntie Moo will use Ting Fong's plum syrup. This one gives a sweet and sour taste. It goes very well with the Santol. Auntie Moo will use 1 bottle. Pour, go ahead and use up 1 bottle. Once we've finished pouring the syrup, Auntie Moo will add the remaining 5 liters of water. We'll use it as drinking water only. Pour it in at this stage. Once we pour the drinking water in, mix the ingredients together. This is it. It smells really good. Goes well with the Santol because our Santol has a sour taste. We're using Santol syrup. It's easy to find. Once we've mixed the ingredients together, Auntie Moo will separate the water to test for stretching. We'll divide it into separate bowls like this. Today, Auntie Moo will use half of the yeast. Tablespoon. For those who don't have a measuring spoon like this, you can use a rice spoon. We'll scoop half a spoon to eat rice. Let's call it half a tablespoon. We'll pour it into the water that we separated like this. We won't pour it into a basin. We'll pour it into a cup like this. Then, mix the ingredients together like this. Auntie Moo, mix the ingredients together well like this. Let it rest and let it work first. While we're waiting for it to work, Auntie Moo will pour the water into the fermentation tank first. Now, our yarn is fluffy like this. Fluffy like this means that the yarn is of good quality. When Auntie Moo tests the yarn, manko, gushin, mixed to prepare the yeast as a yeast test. This means that the water must be at room temperature only in order to test the yeast like this. Friends, you can test the yeast in your mouth. It won't rise properly because it doesn't have sugar. We're using the water that we mixed to prepare the yeast. It has sugar and sweetness in it. The yeast must be boiled and eaten with the sugar as food. Then it will rise nicely like this. Some people test the yeast with hot water and it won't rise properly. The water that we will test must be at room temperature only. We won't use warm or hot water to test the yeast. You can pour the yeast into the fermentation tank. Once we pour it into the fermentation tank, Aunt Moo will close the lid tightly first. Close it tightly. We will shake the tank. Shaking the tank helps increase oxygen inside the tank, and it also makes the yeast break up quickly. The yeast works faster. We're done shaking the tank. Have your friends loosen the lid. We'll loosen it just a little bit, like this, so that the air in the tank can drain out. After we're done loosening the lid, Aunt Moo will put a sticker on it. LL put it on to show what we're doing. Aunt Moo is making a sticker for Santol. We'll ferment at room temperature. Okay, about 15 days. Aunt Moo told me to marinate for 15 days, meaning that people who like it a little sweet. But for me, I marinate for 20 days, because when we marinate for 20 days, the sugar will consume all the sugar and turn it into alcohol, so our alcohol will increase. It depends on your preference. After 2 weeks of marinating, Aunt Moo will come and update you on how much our Wai, Creighton, and Suat Bua will taste to your liking. Friends, please wait and see. Today, Aunt Moo is here. Aunt Moo marinated for a long time, up to 20 days. Right now, Yit has stopped working. You see, we have Wadai water with a click like this. On top, there's almost no more water. Today, we'll filter the pulp and squeeze it. We can pile it through a sieve. It smells so good. We won't use this pulp. Can throw it away. Auntie Moo marinated it for 20 days. Friends, the taste is very delicious. It's not very sweet. It has a sweet and sour taste. The Santol has a sour taste, right? We added Salab plum as an ingredient. The fermentation is very well balanced. Whoever marinates it for 20 days like Auntie Moo. Friends, try it first because everyone's preference for sweetness is different. Auntie Moo marinated it for a long time. 20 days, we are satisfied with this flavor. Auntie Moo will not add sugar at this stage, except for those who taste it and feel that it is bitter or astringent. Those who taste it and feel that it is not very bitter or astringent, friends, can add 30 grams. But if anyone tastes it and it is very bitter or astringent, friends, 50 grams of white sugar is what Auntie Moo said, that the flavor will not be the same because each Santol tree has a different sweetness and astringency. Therefore, anyone who ferments, according to Auntie Moo's recipe, anyone who likes it sweet should ferment for 15 days. But anyone who likes a high waste especially anyone who doesn't have it yet, can order it from Auntie. Moo can. Moo has a memory. When we use a thermometer with water, we have to stir the water. We stir gently like this. The heat will evaporate. The thermometer uses an infrared system or a heat system. We set it at 40 degrees. It doesn't take long, about 1 to 2 minutes, depending on the stove in each house. Friends, don't guess by yourself. Use a thermometer. It's highly accurate. If friends guess by themselves, the heat may run up to 50 to 60 degrees. The alcohol will all evaporate. We stir the water while shooting the thermometer. The temperature will gradually climb like this. Here, now Aunt Moo has measured at 40.2 degrees Celsius like this. We can turn off the stove. Now that we have turned off the stove, we need to let it rest until it reaches room temperature before pouring it into the fermentation tank. Do not pour the vinegar into the fermentation tank while the vinegar is still at a high temperature. It will cause steam to form and cause white smoke. While we are fermenting, there will be a foul smell. Aunt Moo will come back to update the next steps. Now Aunt Moo has let the vinegar and Santol marinade reach room temperature. Now we can pour it into the fermentation tank. Now we have poured the vinegar into the fermentation tank. Aunt Moo will teach you 2 steps by adding potassium. Why? This type of ridge has fine grains like salt. Whoever makes Aunt Moo's 5 to 6 liters of weight, Aunt Moo will use 2 spoons of potassium sulfate. The abbreviation for potassium sulfate is KMS. KMS is a curing agent. It helps curing the color of our weight so it doesn't change from what we made. When we cure it, for a long time, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, or a year, the color and smell of the car will still be there. Whoever makes weights using the same recipe as Aunt Moo, 5 to 6 liters, we will use 2 spoons of potassium sulfate. We will dry it and pour it into the bucket. Here, 2 spoons. KMS dissolves quite easily. We pour it in. In the water, it will dissolve immediately. All chemicals are dangerous. Do not fumigate and keep out of reach of children. Once we add potassium metabisulfite, we can close the lid tightly. We will ferment at room temperature. After 2 nights, have your friends check the tank. If the tank is depressed like this, you can continue fermenting at room temperature for a long time. But if the tank is swollen, tight, and cannot be pressed down, it means that there is a sputtering failure. Don't be alarmed, just loosen the lid like when we ferment. Release half a section and ferment at room temperature. Auntie Moo will ferment at room temperature for about 7 to 10 days. I'll come back and update you on the fermented Santol and chai lab. Bua! How much flavor do we like? Auntie Moo will update the next step. Today, Auntie Moo will update you on Wahai, Creighton, Salab, Bua. This one, PLA Moo, cured at room temperature for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, we will get whitey water that is fairly clear. This bottle, Auntie Moo, has added potassium soda. It inhibits the growth of yeast. We will get whitey water that is still and clear like this. If we don't add soda, the yeast might wake up and come back to work. There will be more pressure. So in the process of storing the yeast, in the bottle, Auntie Moo is finished. I'll have my friends add potassium sorbate to prevent yeast growth. Potassium sorbate comes in the form of pellets, like sugarcane pellets like this. We add it to inhibit yeast growth. Today, Auntie Moo will show you how to store yeast in a bottle by adding potassium sorbate. The method of use is quite easy. For a 300 to 500 milliliters bottle, Auntie Moo will use 1 spoon of sorbate. For a large bottle like this, 500 to 100 milliliters, Auntie Moo will add 2 spoons of sauce. We scoop 1 spoon like this and pour it into the bottle. Once we've added the sorbet to the bottle, we'll lift the sorbet and pour it in. Here's how to lift the bucket. Friends, you have to lift it with your wrists and pour it right away. Lifting the bucket with your wrists helps prevent the basket at the bottom of the bucket from rising. When we pour the water into the bottle, the basket will stay still at the bottom. Once we've finished pouring the water into the bottle, we'll close the bottle cap tightly. Now it's the curing step. We close the bottle cap tightly. Friends, you have to write a sticker to put on it saying what kind of water we made and the production date. Try this recipe. Aunt Moo says you shouldn't hang it over. It's very delicious and perfectly balanced. It's fresh Santol, friends. This one isn't. Soak it in something. It's fresh Santol. You can use fresh Santol. Clean, soak in salt water, and freeze it in the freezer for about 1 night. Then, make this weight recipe. This Santol weight is very delicious. Friends, anyone who has watched Aunt Moo's video clip and felt like it and found it useful, please press like to encourage Aunt Moo. Press share a lot. Other members will know the correct way to make weights. Aunt Moo greets all fans, both those who are abroad and those who are in the country. Take care of your health, everyone. Aunt Moo is worried. This clip ends here until see you again. Hello?